Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today's overview is a sequel to perhaps one of my favorite PC games of all time. Now, I know many of you have enjoyed Hades, and now Supergiant Games is bringing us their first ever sequel in Hades 2. Now the release date is still to be announced. It will be released for the PC for sure, and we're assuming the Switch, Xbox Series X and S, and the PS5 based on the first game. Now the genre of course is a rogue-lite dungeon crawler, and it's developed and published by Supergiant Games. So just a quick note, if you haven't played the original Hades, get your ass in gear and make it happen. I promise you, you won't regret it. Hades has some really great gameplay that mixes hack and slash combat with some awesome abilities to use based on Greek mythology. Now the visuals of the game are beautifully hand-drawn to go along with some excellent dialogues and narration. Now, I mentioned earlier about the inclusion of Greek mythology, which is really well done in the game, kind of giving us some background lore to go along with the godlike, usable abilities in the game. The only small negative I can talk about, which personally did not bother me, is the game can be a little grindy and tedious after a while for some players. Now, I do understand this, but the roguelite is done so well that the game really does feel different each run and kind of keeps everything interesting. Now, on to some information on Hades 2. So to start off with some good news, Supergiant Games has mentioned in a blog post that Hades 2 is going to be available in early access sometime in 2023 via the PC on Steam and the Epic Games Store. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean the game will be released this year, but it's good news nevertheless. So I don't know a lot about the game just yet, but based on the trailer, we do know that the main character will not be Zagreus, but instead we will control Melinoid, the princess of the Underworld, who is the blood sister of Zagreus, as if the red eye didn't point that out. Now the gameplay and combat look to be familiar, the roguelike elements and the boon system also appear to be returning, but it also appears that a new group of gods and goddesses will provide the upgrades this go around, and I'm sure the ones that we're familiar with as well. So back to the combat, it appears that Melinoid will have a larger focus on magic. She is described by some as a sorceress with powerful magical abilities, but also possesses deadly skill with different shadowy weapons. So we can probably expect a good mix of both here. Now the setting of the game places us yet again in the Underworld, however this time we will have access to all new parts of the Underworld to explore. Now as I mentioned, there aren't a lot of concrete details surrounding the game just yet, but we can expect more as we move closer to the early access launch. Now also, Supergiant Games has never created a sequel before, but based on how the original Hades turned out, I think we can expect a stellar Underworld experience with this one.
Kronos.
This is an opportunity for you to make a better future for us all. Least I can do is light your way down.
About ready to give in?
No, I was born for this.
You trifle with powers far beyond your comprehension, witch.
Okay, if I call you witch like that?
Vengeance for your family awaits you.
He is no mere titan. He is time itself, and time cannot be stopped.
Wait for me, Father. I'll be this.